What's going on, everybody? How are ya? Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. Sorry, I gotta get myself all... I took a nap today and ended up with crazy Carrie hair. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys feeling? What's going on? Did you have a good day? It's Sunday, although for a lot of us, it just feels like another day. Like Groundhog Day, another day, same thing as yesterday. But for some people, especially the essential workers, maybe you finally had a day off. And so, what's going on, Eric? Hey, Tracy. What's up, Scott? Hey, Paul. O'Rourke, what's going on? Wayne says he's corona-free. That is awesome. Hey, Stephanie. What's up, Kevin? Hey, Rick. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Every night at 8:30, we jump on Facebook Live and have a cocktail in my war room. And I got another old AF glass filled with Fernandez's sangria. So I'm enjoying every sip of it while it lasts, before I get another shipment dropped on my front steps in the middle of the night. Hey, Diane. Pete. Amy says basically every day is Groundhog Day. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Dave? Hey, Jay. So we meet here every night at 8:30 to kind of go over all the stuff that I write down in my notebook, all of the stuff that happened today. Check in with you guys and see how you're doing, how you're feeling, how your day was. What's up, Kristen? I'm a little bit sore today because I was out working in my garden again. Pulled out the rototiller. Oh, that thing is so sexy. And I'm actually doing some repair work on some of the fencing because some critters ate a hole in one of the boards around my garden last fall. So I have to do some repair work. But it was really good. It's been really good getting outside. It's been very helpful for my brain. Just being outside, having it not be raining. I know tomorrow is supposed to be sunny and it's Mickey! And it's supposed to be nice, so it'll be a good day to get outside and absorb some sun, which will be really good. Today is the anniversary. I'm about to make you feel really old, so I want to put the disclaimer out there. Today is the anniversary of the debut of Married with Children on TV. It debuted on this date. Are you ready for it? 1987. Oh, shit, that hurt. 1 year before I got this concert shirt, which I dug out of the archives for you guys. This was the Nonstop Go tour, the Robert Plant solo tour from 1988. I believe I saw the show at the Orpheum as well. If I'm mistaken, let me know in the comments. But yeah, Married with Children debuted on this date in 1987. Lane Staley passed away 18 years ago, which is crazy. I remember being on the air when we got the word, and I just can't believe that that he's been gone 18 years. It's insane. Today is also Gold Star Spouses Day. So the first people that we're going to toast today are all of our Gold Star spouses today. So cheers. Thank you all for your sacrifice. None of us will ever understand the sacrifice that you have made and that your family has made for the rest of us. You are so appreciated and so loved. And even though we can't be together with you right now, just know that we all love you guys. So to all of the Gold Star spouses. Today, if today is your birthday, Peter Grant from Led Zeppelin, the manager of Led Zeppelin, the very famous, notorious manager of Led Zeppelin, was born on this date, as was Alan Clark from the Hollies. And I bring that up because I was named after their Hollies song, Hey Carrie Ann. Only my mother calls me Carrie Ann, but I was named after that song. And also Mike McCready from Pearl Jam, celebrating his birthday today. So if today is your birthday, well, The Nonstop Go tour was the Tweeter Center, wasn't it? You know what? If you say it was, George, then I'm going to believe you. You're probably right. Happy birthday to everybody. Wayne says he loves that cup. I know. I'm bummed that the beer didn't stick around, but we had a really good time at the brewery. And sorry I'm late, Ralph. It's fine. You're good. You can pop in and out anytime you want. Randy says, I can't believe WAF is gone. I was just on a group FaceTime thing with a bunch of my friends, and we were still talking about that. Like, they're like, I can't believe that you're not at work right now. And I was like, well, put Facebook Live on at 8:30, and I'm kind of working. Although I get to work in sweatpants, and I get to drink in the studio, which I couldn't do before. What's up, Lou? Hey, Cindy. So today, also word came out that John Taylor from Duran Duran is battling the coronavirus as well. He tested positive. So I wanted to get that out there. You know who is not battling the coronavirus right now? I'm not the biggest soccer fan in the world, but when I saw this headline, I grabbed a pen and I was like, I need to write this down because you guys will love this story. So a guy named Kyle Walker plays soccer or football for Manchester City, and he was just caught at a prostitute-filled sex party hours after he told all of his social media followers to stay inside and social distance. And then he bought a bunch of hookers and was basically having a sex party with them, and then he ended up on the internet. So I tell you every night not to lick anything weird, and obviously he's fine about it. Now, I bring that up because Pat Robertson, who is not a doctor, was hosting the 700 Club today. And Pat Robertson seems to have an idea as to how the coronavirus is spread. Now, to quote the great Mike Shue, I am not, in fact, a doctor, but neither is Pat Robertson. Pat Robertson said on the 700 Club that he believes the coronavirus is being spread by performing oral sex on women. Allow me to speak for all of the women that you are social distancing with and following the stay-at-home order by staying home. Please don't listen to Pat Robertson, because otherwise you're going to be one of those people we've been laughing about the last week who's calling the divorce attorneys. Mr. Robinson, or Robertson, I should say, you are not a doctor. Dr. Fauci didn't tell us that the corona was spread by oral sex, so you don't know what you're talking about. So stop it. All of the world's problems are not started because of the female vagina, okay? Yes, we have genitalia and we like you to touch it sometimes. It's not a bad thing and we're not going to hell, so shut up. Coronavirus started by having oral sex with women. Now I really need a drink. Are you kidding me? Can't deal. Okay, I have found our new term. It's amazing. A friend of mine sent me this article, so I got to thank Neil and Christine. There is a term in Finland that is called pants drunk. And pants drunk actually means the act of being home and getting drunk in your underwear. There's actually a Finnish term for it, and it's a thing in Finland. So I wanted to pass that on to you because if you guys are pants drunk right now, I need to know this stuff. So because I can't see you, I am in fact wearing pants. I told you guys that I shower and put pants on every day because I know I'm going to talk to you guys on Facebook Live every night at 8:30. But there's a possibility that you're at home getting drunk in your underwear and that you're not wearing pants. So if you are pants drunk, which became my new favorite saying, you have to let me know. Let's see. We should celebrate Dr. Fauci on his birthday. Can somebody Google when Dr. Fauci's birthday is so we can all set an appointment so we can have a party for him? Because that would be great. Literally doing it now, says Mary. Thank you very much. Monica says, nope, I'm in shorts. Meredith says, love pants drunk. Yes. Wednesday is sleeping because, again, she was out playing with all of the other dogs today. But her birthday is coming up on April 11th. So next week, I'm just letting you know that we are having a birthday party for Wednesday. I don't know where I'm going to find paper hats and noisemakers, but that shit's happening, just so you know. I mean, we're locked in the house. If you guys missed the announcement from the city of Boston, which I don't know if you're in the city or not, but the city of Boston has issued it's recommended right now, a recommended curfew in the city between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. starting tomorrow. And that is going to, that curfew is going to stay in place until May 4th. It is a recommended curfew. They say that anyone on the road after 9 p.m. before 6 a.m. should be essential workers, emergency crews, healthcare workers. They have also closed recreational areas in the city. They are still encouraging people to go out and get exercise, but what they're noticing is that there are a lot of people that are still organizing sporting events in parks. They're still playing basketball and, still playing soccer and all of this other stuff. December 24th, according to Google. Thank you, Dr. Fauci Day. So they have closed public recreation areas, but they're encouraging you still to walk the dogs, and skateboards are okay and all of that. But no organized sports, because I guess it's becoming a problem in the city where people are just not social distancing. And at this point where the city is now also, the president recommended it yesterday, the city is also recommending it, that you wear a mask over your nose and mouth when you are outside. So if we're all to the point where we've got 10 million people on unemployment and there's a recommended curfew and people are wearing freaking masks, this thing's not going to stop unless we all just do what we got to do to make it stop. So if you're still out playing drunken softball with all your buddies, I saw some pictures today on Twitter of people sneaking onto golf courses, like foursomes and fivesomes sneaking onto golf courses because obviously they're all closed. And, the rest of us are sitting at home waiting to be able to go back to work or in some cases look for a job. So can we just all do what we got to do to social distance to get rid of this thing? Can you guys stop being assholes, please? Not you guys, because we're all cool. But, I mean, the people that are now requiring a recommended curfew in the city from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., it's ridiculous. Friday the 13th, says Gabriel. I know, like we need that in our lives right now. Walking with my youngest daughter every day is helping through this, says Lisa. Absolutely. Making masks in New Hampshire, says Karina. That is fantastic. Frank says, I wish I could stay home. You know what, Frank? Be careful what you wish for, because I wish I was working and you wish you were staying home. Maybe we could switch jobs. Terrence says that Florida now has a curfew. Kim says, hey, I'm late. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Mark is a tow truck driver. People always need us. Yes, they do. And don't let those dirty fuckers in your tow truck. Make them get a ride. I was with somebody the other day that locked themselves out of their car at the supermarket, and I went to sit with them until AAA showed up. And that was one of the things that when you called the 800 number, it said, if you need a tow, you can't be in the tow truck with the driver, which I thought was very interesting. I'm always trying to find websites, not only to keep you guys occupied, but also that might be educational, since you guys are all teaching your kids at home for the first time for most of you. The Greek tourism department has put together a website with videos and tours of all of the historic sites in Greece, which I thought was really cool and interesting. And that website is called greecefromhome.com. So if you've always wanted to go to Greece, or maybe your kids are learning about it, or they're studying Socrates, I don't know, but you can go onto the website, and it's put on by the government and the tourism department of Greece. And they've got all of these tours of all of the different ruins and stuff. I haven't checked it out yet, but I read an article about it today. I saw it on the internet. I believe everything I read. So you can go on greecefromhome.com. Now, on a serious note, the 11th member of the NYPD has passed away from the coronavirus. And as of right now, 18.5% of the NYPD is either diagnosed with COVID-19 or is out sick and quarantined. So 18.5% of the police department in New York City is off the streets right now because of this. And the Surgeon General said this morning that this week will be what he said this is his quote, the hardest and saddest for most Americans. And he compared what is going to happen over the next week or two to this generation's Pearl Harbor or 9/11. So on a serious note, I just wanted to talk to you guys about how you're going to prepare yourself for what is probably going to be kind of a sad and overwhelming week for a lot of people. I know that there are a lot more people I know that are saying, I know someone that's sick, or I know someone that's in a coma on a ventilator right now. I know a couple of people that have been diagnosed with it and have also recovered and are healthy again. And there are a lot of people, obviously, the statistics say that, if you catch this, that, you will survive it. But in places like New Orleans, the fatality rate they're saying right now is 5% as opposed to 1 to 1.5%. And they're obviously saying that lifestyle has a lot to do with whether or not you're going to be healthy enough to battle it. So they're talking about obesity, diabetes, kidney and liver problems. And so obviously in places like New Orleans, where fitness isn't exactly the number one priority, they're seeing the fatality rates be higher than some other places. And so I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about, before it really gets bad, just knowing that this week when we meet up every night at 8:30, that things could be worse. Last night, you guys had a lot of really great advice and fantastic comments when I was asking you guys how you're talking to your family, specifically the kids, based on age, how you're talking to them. What I thought was really interesting is that a lot of you were commenting saying after the kids were 10 or 11 years old, you were just shooting it straight with them. You're like, you know what? They need to know, what's really going on, especially, a lot of like preteen and teenagers that don't understand why they can't meet up with their friends and they're sick of being home. And so I thought it was really interesting to see just how you guys were talking to your kids about this. There's a really sweet video that's been going around the internet of The Rock singing a song from Moana to teach his daughter how long she needed to wash her hands, because they say 20 seconds. And so, just a lot of these. What's up, Tony? There's a lot of these there's a lot of these lessons that kids can learn. Michael has a great point. He said, fitness in New Orleans is not the major issue. Poverty is the major issue, which is a 100% perfect point, because one of the other places that they're saying is going to have a really hard week or two is Detroit and the area around Detroit, which has obviously seen its hardships already. And so they're also keeping an eye on places in Colorado. Dr. Birx said, I believe it was yesterday, that they're starting to see an uptick of cases in the Colorado area where fitness is a priority and living an outdoor life is a priority, but they're also seeing the cases start to go up as well. So, just like we talk about every night, it's really important. I can tell you that you can see the bags under my eyes. I did not sleep last night at all. I was up until like 3:30 in the morning. I tossed and turned all night, which is why I had to nap this afternoon after working out in the garden, because last night I just had a really, really hard time sleeping. And just knowing, it's like on one hand, I don't want to watch television and I don't want to hear what's going on. But on the other hand, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. I want to be informed. I want to know what's going on. And, the news is scary. And when the Surgeon General is saying that this week and next week are going to be what he said, the hardest and saddest for most Americans, and for him to compare it to Pearl Harbor and 9/11, that kind of again, just like the news last week about projected casualties, it just kind of took me back a minute. And I was like, okay, Bob says, same, no sleep, you're not alone here. William says, I'm not watching TV anymore. And I totally get that. And thank you for at least hanging out with me. And I try really hard not to bring you guys bad and sad news, but I'm more talking about it just because I want to make sure that mentally, you guys are able to kind of prepare yourselves for a hard week. And I'm also really curious about what you're doing to stay positive and stay healthy, and what works for you. Like Melissa says, she hasn't slept in days. Mickey says, hoping the curfew might help, but that really only covers the city of Boston, not the surrounding towns. 100%. Fallon says, I'll read the articles, but I just watch cartoons on TV. I can't fault you there. I mean, it's... Kevin says the media is scaring the hell out of people. Well, what I would say is the news is scaring the hell out of people. I mean, you can't blame the media for what comes out of Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx's mouth, what comes out of the mouth of the Surgeon General. Or when we get to the point where the president and the vice president are telling us to wear masks outside, that's not the media. That's the news. Like, that's what's actually happening, and that is what's scaring a lot of people. The other 22 hours a day where it's a tote board of the casualties and regurgitating it, that you could say is the media. But my argument would be the news at the end of the day, regardless of who's reporting it, the facts are the facts. The fact that 18.5% of the police department in New York City is not at work because they've either tested positive for the coronavirus, or that they are... have been exposed and they are self-quarantining, and that they've had 11 casualties on the department already, that's scary, no matter what media outlet is talking about it. So coming from your face than a lot of the media, well, thank you, I appreciate it. But I love the fact that we can all get together and just kind of talk about this stuff. I don't want to get into all of the political crap. I just want to talk about what we can all do as a community and how we can all help each other. And I know that there's a lot of people that watch us here on Facebook every night that are isolated because you're at home by yourselves. And maybe you've got elderly family that you do not want to visit because you are afraid of getting them sick, even though you may not think you're sick yourself or whatever. And so here, I'm just trying to give us a place to kind of pass information around. If you've gotten resources from someplace that helped you, please put those links in there. I told you that every night when we get done on Facebook that I go back and scroll through all of the comments and look for things. Don't forget that the meals for veterans is happening at Gillette Stadium in Lot 5. That happens every day from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And also now in the parking lot of Gillette Stadium, Mr. Kraft and the family have donated parking lot space, and there is now a drive-in testing facility that has been set up for medical professionals, first responders, corrections officers, active duty National Guard, where they've got a separate testing facility for the people that need to be working, the people that we need to rely on. And obviously, if our health professionals or first responders, EMTs, paramedics, firefighters, police officers are afraid they may have been exposed or are starting to feel symptoms, that they have a secure place that they can go and get tested. And so that, I believe, the governor toured, and it is also in one of the outlying parking lots at Gillette Stadium as well. And I think it's pretty awesome that Mr. Kraft, I mean, did you see the cover of the New York Post? It said, "Thank you, Pats," with a picture of the semi with the Patriots logo pulling into New York City with 300,000 N95 masks. I think that what the Krafts have been doing has been fantastic. And people say, oh, they're doing it for the press, they're doing it for whatever. But listening to the governor talk about the only way they could fly into China was under what was called a humanitarian mission, and commercial airliners couldn't go and do what Aircraft One did. And I don't know anybody else with a 747. So I thought it was amazing that the governor made the call to Mr. Kraft and that he paid for the masks and flew him back here. And I thought it was pretty awesome. Somebody commenting, Eric says, please donate blood and platelets. I will tell you, because I made an appointment to donate blood, that you have to wait a couple of weeks because there are not as many blood drives as would be happening on a normal day, that you have to go to an actual testing facility. So if you go to the Red Cross website, I talked about it at the last WAF blood drive. I have a rare blood type. I'm A negative, and the Red Cross told me that only 3 out of 100 people have A negative blood. So every time I show up at a blood drive, they're like, oh my God, are you please donating blood? Are you donating blood? So I can tell you that you have to go on the Red Cross website. You can search by zip code and geographic area and find the place that is still doing blood donations, which is probably going to be a local hospital in your area. But then you have to go in and search for open appointments. And you have to go weeks out to get an open appointment. They are in desperate need of the blood, but at the same time, they have to protect the workers and have the PPE and have the facility to be able to go through the screening process and be able to take the blood donations. And so they have to do it in a controlled way. And so there aren't as many appointments. So I got one for next week. So I'll be able to donate blood, not this coming week, but the following week. That's how long I had to wait to get an appointment. So as soon as you can, if obviously you're feeling healthy and you're able to do it and you can find a place that is close to you, go on the Red Cross website and make an appointment if you can, because they definitely need the blood. Sarah says, I'm A negative blood with you. See, it's only like 3 in 100 people. I didn't know that it was kind of a rare blood type. I had no idea. The Red Cross told me that. So I was like, okay, well then, got to donate it if we can. So I'm actually looking forward to it. But at the same time, to be honest, I'm a little, nervous just to be around a hospital because obviously with everything going on. So Jeff says, I'm thinking about donating blood. They need it. You could save someone's life. It's not even trying to be dramatic about anything. I have heard some horror stories from some other states that are not as lucky as Massachusetts is. I mean, can we just all talk about how fortunate the Northeast is with the access we have to the healthcare facilities that we have access to? Growing up in Massachusetts specifically, we are so spoiled with our access to top-notch healthcare. The reason why my feet are 2 different size is because I had a lot of health problems as a child, and the people at Mass General saved my life when I was a kid, which is why I wanted to run the marathon for them last year, because I felt like it was a little bit of a way that I could give back not only to Mass General, but also to the Home Base program, which is a program that I am very passionate about. But I will tell you that after I crashed my motorcycle in September of 2015, having access to the best facial surgeons and reconstructive surgeons, we take for granted how much amazing healthcare we have access to. Not only for us, but what amazing healthcare we even have for our dogs. Like Tufts is 24-hour veterinary clinic. I mean, we have amazing healthcare, and I have heard some horror stories, not stuff that I've read on the internet, but things that people have told me that they have experienced, the people that I know in other states, where people that have gunshot wounds, like non-fatal gunshot wounds, have been turned away from hospitals because they just do not have the supplies to treat them. People that have broken their legs and need to have them set with pins and plates, that they're like, this is not emergent, and they will set the leg in a cast and send you home even though you need surgery. It's scary in a lot of other places. And So we need to count our blessings that right now our healthcare workers and all of the amazing facilities that we have access to are holding the wall for us. I mean, they really are doing an amazing job. I haven't heard any of these horror stories from Massachusetts, but I've heard them from some places further south, and it's scary. Now is not a time that, I've heard stories about, babies that are sick, and you go to the hospital and they're like, you cannot be here with a sick baby. You need to go. And, obviously having access to telemedicine and primary care physicians online and all of that is great. But it's got to be scary when you feel like something that is not coronavirus related is wrong with you or someone you love, and you feel like you can't even take them to the hospital, or that you're going to get turned away at the hospital when you get there. So we're just so fortunate that right now our hospitals are able to keep up, and they are holding the line for us, and we're all really lucky to have them. So as we do every night, to all of the healthcare workers, we love you guys. Thank you for getting up and going to work every day, even though you are scared shitless, but you're doing it, and we love you guys. They are on the front lines right now in Massachusetts, says Anita. Exactly. And they're holding the line. Madeline wants to know, do you think everyone is going to take the curfew serious? Well, the curfew's only in the city. And one of the reasoning behind Mayor Walsh is declaring the recommended curfew is that what they're seeing is that there's a lot of people under 40 years old that are still congregating at night. And they're organizing, pick-up basketball games and stuff. And unfortunately, they're seeing an uptick in cases of people under the age of 40 that are testing positive. William says, I love all the swearing. I can't help it. Like, it just comes out of me. You guys just spent 22 years watching me not being able to swear for 5 hours every day. Plus, it's the headphones. When I am in the studio and wear headphones, I'm reminded that not to swear, as weird as that sounds. But I'm sitting in my war room looking into my cell phone, and I don't have headphones on. So I kind of forget that I probably shouldn't be swearing. Mike says, I blame that bitch Carol fucking Baskin. I have not gotten past episode 4 of Tiger King yet. So don't ruin the end for me. Don't give me any spoiler alerts. Tony says it's the alcohol. Sorry, Tony. I'm Sicilian and Portuguese. I wake up saying the F word. Sober as a judge. It just is the way that it is. Swearing is just an adjective. No problem, says Renee. Heinz says, Boston is the best for medical. My daughter was growing up and had a heart murmur, and I was referred to Boston Children's. Yeah, I mean, we are so lucky to have the facilities that we have. But at the same time, we just have to be really careful to not overload them. And so doing everything that we can to keep ourselves healthy so that the hospitals can just deal with the people that, Tracy says, people who swear are highly intelligent. Yes, they are. We got to keep ourselves healthy. And that means don't do dumb stuff. Don't get drunk and go climb trees. Like, we can't afford to do dumb things right now. A bunch of you guys sent me pictures on Twitter and Instagram last night and took selfies with me on your phone. So we need to get ready to do that again. So I'm going to give you guys like 20-second warning. So if you're with your husband or your wife or your kids, get one cell phone that's got Facebook Live on it. Get the other cell phone and get ready to take a selfie with me in it. And then I want you to tweet me the pictures because I love them. At Mistress Carrie on Twitter, and tag me on Instagram, Mistress Carrie WAF on Instagram and on Facebook. All right, are we ready? We're going to take group selfies. So get your pictures ready. All right, one more. Ready? Send me the pictures. Or just take screenshots when I'm like in the middle of a sentence and I'm like, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just send me the pictures because I got a bunch of them when we stopped talking last night and they are awesome. I love knowing that I'm hanging out with all of you guys at home and that I am going to have these memories of all of us together. It is kind of like a scrapbook of a really, like, let's be serious for a second. None of us are ever going to forget this time in our lives ever again. And kids are always going to remember this. This is going to be in the history books. People are going to be talking about this for generations. And it's like all of the other things that kind of have marked, when we talk about where we were in school when the space shuttle exploded, where were you on 9/11? I mean, there are certain things that everyone has a story, and we are going to talk about what we were doing when the coronavirus epidemic happened and how we handled it. And the fact that I'm going to be able to say that I was hunkered down with all of you guys in my war room every night at 8:30 and have the pictures to go back and look at are going to be amazing for me to have. So thank you guys. Somebody commenting on the noise. What's the noise in the war room? I showed you guys before. I have time zone clocks, old school time zone clocks in my war room, and they're set to different places. There's a clock that always is on Boston time. There's a clock that's always on Baghdad time. There's a clock that's always on Kabul time. And then I have a clock that I change the time based on when people in my life are serving overseas, so that I have a clock that is the time zone that they're in as well. So I have 4 clocks that are tick, 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 ticking in here. I don't even notice the noise, but I know when I stop talking, when I drink, that you guys can hear it. All right. Fernandez's sangria, so good. All right. So the thing I wanted to show you guys from the war room tonight, don't blame my shoddy frame job, but I have a collection of Saddam Hussein Iraqi currency. Now, obviously, to any veteran or active duty military person that's watching this, you probably have tons of this stuff because it's not worth anything now. But this is one of the things I brought back when I came home from Iraq. I bought it at a local market, but I just thought it would be really interesting to have a bunch of the money from when Saddam Hussein was in power in Iraq. And I thought, let me see if I can zoom in so you can see some of the detail on some of these bills. See, now you can hear the clocks, right? There you go. But I just thought it was really cool. Again, another example of what people are going to be talking about for generations. And obviously, the Iraq War will be in the history books forever. And that was one of the reasons why I have a sleeve of the coins too somewhere. All of the different coins that are different shapes. There's a square coin. But I wanted to show you guys the bills just because I thought they were really interesting. I mean, even though they have his ugly mug on them, the money itself is still beautiful. So I wanted to show you that tonight. It's worth toilet paper, says Eric. Actually, Eric, toilet paper is worth a lot of money right now. So maybe this stuff isn't even worth what toilet paper is worth right now. It sounds like South Station, he says. Okay, then I have my bartender book, and I selected a drink tonight that I thought was interesting because the first ingredient in this drink recipe is a clam. Now, I don't eat seafood. I know I'm Sicilian and grew up in New England, but I don't eat seafood. I had a very bad experience as a kid, and I have not gone back since. But this is called a Bloody Caesar shooter. And ingredient number 1, it says 1 clam. Then an ounce of vodka, an ounce of tomato juice, 2 drops of Worcestershire sauce, 2 drops of Tabasco, a half a teaspoon of horseradish puree, and a pinch of celery salt. Put the clam in the bottom of a shot glass and then shake the rest of the ingredients in a shaker and strain into a glass and serve. So there you go. That's called a Bloody Caesar shooter, and that was the drink that I selected for you guys tonight in the war room because I thought it was weird that they were making drinks with clams. Ugh, not my thing. Kim says, dude, the Caesar is awesome. I'm French Canadian now. Well, there you go. That's to you, Kim. There you go. Out around the Leominster way, the French Canadian guys make the best furniture, and they are the best best carpenters. They're unbelievable. Let's see. Christy wants to know, who the hell is drinking that disgusting mess? Just chug the tequila, Lou wants to know. I was FaceTiming with a friend earlier that was convinced that if he just made his body as polluted with tequila as possible, the coronavirus wouldn't want to live in it. I'm not saying that's science, but it's an opinion. It's not quite as strange as the Pat Robertson opinion that oral sex on women is causing the coronavirus. But I'm starting to hear a lot of crazy theories. So Will says, try a prairie fire. I'm going to have to look that one up. Have you guys ever heard of a stuntman? I'll tell you this story and then I'll let you guys go for the night because it's Sunday and a lot of you essential workers have to get to work tomorrow. So when my producer Mike and I were getting ready to leave Afghanistan, we went around to the platoon that we were embedded with a notebook. And we knew that we were going to leave Kabul after that whole crazy scene at the airport that I told you guys a few days ago about. We knew, because this is how we flew from Boston to Kabul, that we were going to fly back the same way, that we were going to fly for a couple of hours out of Kabul and we were going to end up at the Bahrainian airport for like 6 hours. And we knew in the airport in Bahrain that there was an Irish pub kind of tucked away at the end where all of the Westerners would kind of go and congregate at the airport. And so we knew we were going to have significant time in the Bahrainian airport at a bar. And in that bar, for like $6 an hour, you could rent an internet computer that had a webcam. So we went around to the platoon that we were embedded with, and we asked every guy in the platoon if they could have one drink, because these guys had been in, Afghanistan for like 6 months at that time. If you could have one drink, what would you want it to be? And, some people were like a shot of Jack or a Jack and Coke or a gin and tonic or whatever. And everybody wrote down their drink and put it in a notebook. And then we had the whole fiasco at the airport. We landed in the Bahrainian airport. We went to the Irish pub. We paid for like 4 hours of internet service on those computers with the webcam. And then we got on Skype and Skyped the guys back in Afghanistan that we had just left so that they could watch us drink all of the drinks that they put on their list. And when I tell you that my producer Mike and I mixed every alcohol you could think of, because the guys that were in Afghanistan, each one of them got a drink, and we were like, we are going to drink whatever your drink is. So anyway, we started checking down the list, and people were watching us in Afghanistan like you guys are watching me now, and we'd say, okay, Fooch, this is your drink, or Torch, this is your drink, or whatever. I don't know if he's watching right now, but CJ, if you are watching, you're still an asshole. And anybody that's watching, because I know there are a bunch of my Afghanistan guys that are watching this right now, you guys agree with me that CJ is an asshole anyway. But anyway, CJ, who's a ranger, wrote stuntman as his drink. And what a stuntman is, and I've heard LB talk about this on the air many times, it's a shot of tequila with the salt and the lime or the lemon. And what you do is, instead of licking your hand, putting the salt, licking the salt, doing the shot, and then squeezing the lemon, you snort the salt, do the shot of tequila, and then squirt the lemon in your eye. So we're about 9 drinks deep in the Bahrainian Irish pub at the airport. And we get down to the list and get to CJ's drink. Now just imagine the mess that me and my producer Mike were, okay? And now we've taken the debit cards out of our wallets and we are cocaine style making lines of salt on the bar and snorting salt off the bar and squeezing the lemon in our eye after drinking tequila shots. And the bartender was just like, this is just pure comedy. And then we had to get on the plane in Bahrain and fly like 9.5 hours to London for another layover before we could fly home. So because we were flying on military orders, we were told when you get to the counter at the airport, present your military orders with the temporary military IDs that we had been given, and maybe they will take pity on you and either upgrade you to first class or they'll put you in those like executive lounges. So you guys need to just have this whole visual, okay? We run through the airport, scared out of our minds to get on the plane in Afghanistan. That's the story I told you guys a few days ago. We get to the Bahrainian airport and spend 6 hours in the bar in Bahrain getting wasted, snorting salt and squeezing lemon in our eye while doing tequila shots because CJ's an ass. Then we were awake the whole time from Bahrain to London and basically were drunk and became sober and hungover on the flight to London. We haven't showered in days. We're still covered in Kabul. We're dirty, we smell, we are disasters. We land in London, we give them our military, we had to go through customs and all of that in Heathrow. We give them our military orders, we give them all of the ID and everything. And the woman in the sweetest British accent on the planet apologized that she couldn't upgrade us to first class for the flight back to Boston, but that she could give us access to the Admiral's Lounge at the airport in Heathrow. Now, I've never flown first class. I've never been in one of those VIP lounges at the airport. I've flown on one private jet in my whole life, which is a story for another night. So I've never been in one of those like first class Admiral's Lounges before. You've got to picture Mike and I. We just left Afghanistan after almost 3 weeks. We looked like death warmed over, and we're active participants in our own hangover on the flight from Bahrain. We walk in there. It's beautiful. There's a full bar where it's just make whatever the hell you want for a drink. And then we get in there and they're like, do you guys want to take showers? And we're like, what? Let me just give you this one little piece of travel advice. Not that you guys are traveling anywhere, but let me just give you this one piece of advice. In your carry-on luggage, no matter where you go, no matter how long you're planning to be gone, always, always, always have a toothbrush, clean underwear, clean socks, and if you can, a clean pair of pants and a clean t-shirt. Because we didn't have that with us. So we're in this first class lounge with all of these rich, important people, and we just came out of Kabul, and we go to take showers, and we had to put all our dirty, crusty Kabul clothes back on and then fly all the way home to Boston in our dirty, disgusting clothes after we just took showers. It was disgusting. So that is one of the things that changed how I fly. And I always, even if I just travel with a computer bag, I always have socks, underwear, a clean shirt, a toothbrush, always in my carry-on because you just never know. Eric says bars without bartenders. It was a fully stocked top shelf liquor bar. And we sat down at a table waiting for a waitress to come over to take our order. And when nobody did, we noticed that everyone was just getting up and making drinks. I mean, we could have been doing stuntman shots right off the bar. It wouldn't have mattered. You could just do whatever the hell you wanted. So just from now on, just promise me when we all are allowed outside again and you guys travel again, always, always, always in your carry-on, have essential items. A toothbrush, toothpaste, maybe some baby wipes so you could wash the Kabul off your face. Have clean underwear and socks. I've never flown without that stuff in my carry-on ever again because I will never forget how disgusting I felt wearing dirty clothes flying home to Boston after we just took showers in the London airport. I would have bought clothes at the duty free. But Tracy, here's the thing. We would have at least had to put the dirty clothes back on to go to the duty free. And we didn't know when we went into the Admiral's Lounge that we had access to showers. We had no idea. We thought, all right, we're at least going to have like a comfortable chair, but we didn't know we were going to be able to get haircuts and a freaking massage. Let me tell you, Rich people got it made at the airport. I'm sorry, but if there's one reason to buy a Powerball ticket, it's to be first class when you fly. That is the way to go. Annette says, always have extra clothes because you never know when your luggage is going to get lost. Exactly. But you also never know when you're going to be covered in dust from Afghanistan after being gone for 3 weeks with the U.S. military. These things happen. Melissa says, always have a pair of clean underwear handy. That's what my mom said. Your mom is a smart woman. All right, so I showed you the thing from the war room. We went over our drink. I showed you my badass old school t-shirt. I think that's it. Are we done? You guys learned your new phrase today, pants drunk. I hope you guys are all getting drunk in your underwear because that's what they do in Finland, and that's our new term. So, to being pants drunk. All right, guys. It's Sunday night. We know that this week is going to be hard. So, take care of yourselves. Get sleep if you can. Spend time outside in the sun. Go for walks. Really take stock in what it is that you have that's good right now. Really focus on how fortunate you are. Focus on the good things that you have. If you're healthy, if you're with your family, if your kids are healthy, if you're working, please do it safely. If you're home and you're staying home to protect the people around you, thank you for that. We know this is going to be a hard week. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. Don't be ashamed to say that you're sad. Don't be ashamed to say that you need someone to talk to. I promise you, you've got friends out there that if you called them randomly and just said, you know what, I just need somebody to talk to right now, no one is going to tell you it's an inconvenience. Really, really, really take care of yourself this week because the Surgeon General is telling us it's going to be a hard week. So count your blessings. Look at if you've got good things, focus on that. If you are alone and you are by yourself in your house, there are plenty of ways for you to connect with people digitally. Stay positive. Don't feel isolated. If you feel yourself getting depressed, get out of bed anyway and take a shower and focus on the good. Connect with those that you love. Check on your neighbors. A lot of my friends have their kids decorating their front windows with hearts and stuff just to give them something to do. And I think I might do that. Even though there's no kids. I mean, I have Wednesday, but just to give me something positive to do, just to put some decorations in the window and just to kind of make me feel happy, you know. I want to pass along the National Suicide Prevention Hotline again. It's 1-800-273-8255. And the website is suicidepreventionlifeline.org. So one more time, 1-800-273-8255. And the website is suicidepreventionlifeline.org. You may not need that information, but you might get a phone call from someone that might need that information. So just have it at the ready, just in case. To everybody that's working, to the package delivery people, the mailmen, the truck drivers, the people that are in the restaurants that are delivering the takeout food for people, obviously the first responders, the National Guard, the healthcare workers, you guys are amazing. Hug your animals, stay healthy, don't lick anything weird, and Mr. Pat Robertson, female genitalia is not weird. You can lick that if you want. Just a little bit of advice. You're not going to get the corona from performing oral sex on women, you weirdo. But don't lick anything weird other than that. Wash your damn hands. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow night at 8:30. Send me those pictures. If you took pictures of me, tag me, tweet them to me at Mistress Carrie on Twitter and on Instagram at Mistress Carrie WAAF. Why is it that every time I bring up Pat Robertson and talk about oral sex and vaginas, you guys all hit the laughing face emoji on your Facebook right now? I'm getting flooded with laughing faces and hearts. You guys really like vagina. You think it's funny. There it goes. I'm watching this whole stream of laughing faces right there. You guys are the best. Thank you guys for keeping me company every night. Thank you for making me not feel crazy. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow.